What's happening? Houston, Texas. We're in an area that's close to River Oaks, if you're familiar with Houston. At one of my newest projects. This one's been going for about 11 months. I work quick, obviously. I'm partnered with a builder who works very, very fast for me. So you're gonna get a sneak peek today of exactly what this project is. We're sitting on about 2 acres in the heart of Houston. So 2 acres in the heart of Houston. We back up to a little creek. We're about, if you're familiar with Houston, we're about 5 minutes away from the Galleria. We're 4 minutes away from Uptown, 3 minutes away from Mastro's. We're right in the heart of everything here. 2 acres in a forest type of area. The street name I'm not going to give you because I don't need you stalking my property right now, but it's in Sherwood Forest. It's like Robin Hood, taken from the rich and given to the poor. But here's a sneak peek to this project. So with all of my projects, I'm always looking, you talk about curb appeal, but I'm always looking to try to get the wow factor as soon as you pull up. So entry is everything, and you only get the one opportunity to create a first impression, right? And you want that impression to be grand. So every project that I'm doing, it just gets more and more grand. If you take a look at this entry, this door here, the arch, you'll see this arch is being used in a lot of new properties. What's funny is when I first put this in, it's been in for a while because obviously everything was custom built. So a lot of the neighbors and a lot of other developers around here kind of saw the footprint of what I was doing. And if you drive around here and look at a lot of these properties, they literally copied it exactly for what it is, tried to make it as grand, doesn't look as good, looks kind of like a knockoff. But this is what you're greeted with when you first pull up to the property. Puts a little signature on it, like everyone knows this is going to be a special property. It's going to be a little different than anything else in the area. Let's soak it in. What's that? That's about like 30 feet. I don't know. Stop counting. All right, we've got about 60 days left here. We're in the finish out stage. So this is where I start paying a lot of attention to what's going on. The details, the devil's in the details, right? So it's literally the smallest things. When you walk into a house like this and you're trying to push 8 digits sale price, and that's where kind of the level that I'm in. If it's not up to 8 digits, it's not really a project that I want to do anymore. We'll talk more about why I keep increasing the number a little bit later, but it's details. It's in things like baseboards. I mean, for someone who's walking into a $10 million home, you want to see certain kinds of finish outs, and you want to see that they've paid attention to details, the little art niches that are arched that matches the entryway, the arches here, and the way it kind of slides into the kitchen and out through the backyard in the guest house. I mean, these are just the details of how you set up the baseboards. We'll have some LED lightings under there, how the floors are put in. I mean, there's no missing whenever you're in a property that's, a $10 million property, even the way I want to create like the arches throughout the house. So we've got like a little arch staircase as well. It all just blends together so beautifully. This is an area that I wanted to incorporate a tree. So I'm gonna do like an olive tree or something in here, kind of bring the outdoor in as well. But it's all the details towards the end that really, I don't know if you can kind of come see this in here, but just the intricacies and all the detail of everything that's going in. Once you get into this last 60 days, I mean, this is key because this is what's, especially in a neighborhood like this, you start running comps, a 10,000 square foot house like this, I mean, it can go for anywhere from $6 to $12 million. And that's all just gonna be on the details and finish outs. But from the second they see it from the curb and the second they come in, they have to see all the detail that a $10 million house is gonna have, right? I mean, these are all custom cabinets that have been made especially for this space. I mean, come on. Some of this stuff, I still just look at it. I mean, anything that I do, it's always stuff that I would be like, this is what I wanna, enjoy. This is where I wanna live. Like, let's get some more views. Like, I still get kind of taken away by some of the views in here. If we look back through all of the arched walkway here, I mean, this is going to be, look at this. We've got little pocket lighting we're going to put in here, so it's going to wash these walls, almost like, I'm calling it monastery chic, right? It's going to be so gorgeous where the light's going to be right up the little archways all along. That's going to head to the master retreat area, primary retreat area. This is going to be the spa area. So the design and the way I've set this house out, like I've wanted as much square footage on the first floor as possible. Just because I like the feel of not having to go upstairs for everything, right? You just want to kind of wander the property. Think about your favorite hotel. You know, you go to the Amalfi Coast or I mean, even Malibu. I get most of my inspiration from traveling, but you kind of wander the property and the way that it's set up. Like this entire entry is almost like going to be a spectacular lobby. Even where this door was placed, it's exactly where the sun comes up. As the sun comes up, it's going to shoot through this. I mean, it's almost biblical, right? Like it's like a spiritual awakening every morning as the sun's going to rise and shoot through the glass in here. And it's almost like how you'd be greeted at your favorite property in whatever exotic destination you go to. And then it's going to be segmented to where if you kind of wander this way off the property, it's going to be the spa retreat, just like in your favorite hotel when you go have a spa day. It's going to be a gym, spa, massage room, everything's going to be back over here. And then the primary retreat area is all in this wing off here, creating almost like a U shape. And then you have your swimming pool, sunken fire pit area to lounge. That's was inspired from a trip that we took to Dubai at Atlantis the Royal. I mean, it just gives you like a retreat feel, like just being in here. I've got no floors, it's dusty, it's dirty, but I'd sleep here tonight. I'd stay here, I'd fill that up, I'd swim in the pool right now if there was water in it. But it just gives you that nice calming feeling. Another thing that I try to do, so the first thing I'm always looking at is just blow them away from the front. And then I try to put pieces together like the arches and things like that. But I want like spectacular, like wow pieces as you walk through the house, but not too many. Don't make it, too much. You want pieces that by themselves like stand out. Right now this is all covered up. But this fireplace was handcrafted. It's unreal. And you can see it. I mean, it's basically, if I laid down, slide me in it, it's a large fireplace, but it's gorgeous, handcrafted. The masonries did an unreal job. We'll unveil that sometime soon here. But just that piece alone speaks for itself. You don't need much else in here. All the attention's going to draw to there. And then of course the gorgeous kitchen area. I mean, there's just little things that like our signature, again, pieces, put my stamp on it. When people walk my properties, they know there's something special about them. Before we go too far, before we get out of here, I wanted to add a full entertainment area on this side. This part, and this is very specific to this neighborhood. So there's a lot of big attorneys and Houston has oil and gas executives, a lot of entertaining kind of in this area. We see a lot of, catered valet parties, things of that nature. But what these houses don't have is this is a full lounge. Almost your little nightlife that's right off the living room. Again, you'll see the arches incorporated in here, but you've got your own bar set up. This is kind of the area where you just want to chill out and entertain. This is like just a spectacular place to entertain. The inside is all windows and mirrors. So as everyone's outside by the pool, having a cocktail, you can be in here, at the bar enjoying one as well, and watching the guests outside too. So kind of a cool feature to have just your own little bar kind of area to entertain here. As we continue down the hall into what's the primary retreat. Again, this window is going to be here specifically because I have a giant planter that's going to have probably an olive tree or something like that set here as well, kind of as a centerpiece as you walk by here. It's going to be nice. And then we've done something very similar in the master with a masonry who's come in and custom built a fireplace for in here as well. But this is your retreat if you're the owner, right? Just a very calming, soothing feeling in here. You're looking at the trees, the creek is back here. Again, all this is very delicately placed. to angle it to where the lighting, the sun's never, hitting through the windows. It's all just the little details that kind of all come together and create an exceptional property. So where does all of this start, right? I kind of look here and I think back on where did it even start for me? Because a lot of times what happens is I start researching certain areas. Most of the time I'm looking for areas where I would want to live. Location, right? Location. But I get a little bit more specific and just be like, what kind of house would I want to live in? What kind of neighborhood? I love a little bit of land and a little bit of room. The idea of having kind of that cookie cutter home in suburbia is not really for me. So I'm like, well, how would it be to have a property in the heart of Houston? Just Post Oak Hotel, stone's throw from here. Might see Tillman's helicopter fly above us in a second, who knows? But we're in the heart of Houston, but look at this, you would never know. This is a little dirty right now. It's gonna be clean, it's gonna be a beautiful oasis, but you back up to a creek, so you're never gonna have a neighbor behind you. You're in the middle of basically a forest, and then you're 3 minutes away from Mastro's if you want a butter cake. It's crazy. You have the privacy that you want. So I started researching this area because I was looking for big lots in the heart of the city. There's not many that are almost 2 acres. So I'm going specifically for the prime lots, the best lots. I narrowed it down to, I think, about 6 of them in this area. Sherwood Forest has always been hot in Houston. Very desirable neighborhood. I actually knew an athlete who lived not far from here, and this is when I first heard about it. Always keep my eyes and ears open. Found this property, looked at it. There's 3 more just on this street that I looked at as well, but they weren't prime. One of them backed up to an apartment building, not optimal. A couple were just your normal square cookie cutter. Neighbors are too close. This was the best one. This is the one I wanted. The individuals that timing and luck has to be in your favor sometimes too with these deals, but I put offers on all of them. And I believe in a lot of the profit is made whenever you make the purchase, right, of the land. So my offers are always going to be not lowball offers, because then you're just going to upset the buyer, but I'm definitely on the aggressively low side whenever I come in, but high enough to pique some interest, like, hey, is this guy going to close? My offers are always cash, kind of entice them. They're quick closes. People want to get out of properties like this. It had a house on it that their parents had lived in for 50 plus years and had passed on, and so it was kids that moved out of state and stuff. So it worked well for negotiations, and we got to a point where I had to walk away from it because they still wanted more money than I was willing to pay. And I told them, you're not going to get that number, right? A little psychology. And I was like, eventually I'm going to come back and I'm going to offer a number lower. So where I came in today that you said no, I'm going to get it for less later. So a little psychology with them, but I ended up being right. And they came back to me 8 months later, and they're like, are you still willing to consider your offer? And I told them, I was like, no, I'm going to go lower. So I ended up getting it much lower than I even had went in on. I bought it, and it wasn't a good time to build at the time, so I just held it. The house wasn't really habitable, so I just held it, let the area kind of grow a little bit, get to the point where financing was how I wanted it to be to secure the construction loan, have my interest rate, so a lot of strategy in it. But it was all about finding that one specific property and doing a lot of work to find the one that I thought was the best one. All that said, I was still in at all the other ones as well at a lower amount, to where if I would have closed on those, I would have done very well too. So a lot of it is just being able to walk away from certain properties if you're not getting the price, because real estate can fluctuate a lot. But if you don't overpay on the land when you're developing, you give yourself so much of a cushion and a lot of leeway in case the project doesn't go the way you want, and you kind of cook in your profits right at the beginning. And then when I'm looking at this neighborhood, this was a neighborhood in Houston that if you're familiar with Houston real estate, there's not a lot of 8-figure and above homes really in Houston. There's a few, but there's not a lot of new construction here that a lot of people do that command those type of numbers. So at first I'm a little bit hesitant, right? Because eight digits in Houston, doing it in Southern California is one thing, in West Palm Beach is one thing, but here in Houston it's a little bit of a challenge. So I had to kind of wrap my head around the fact that whether or not I'm doing buying a $500,000 lot and building a $1.5 million home with construction, being all in for $2 million, and then selling for 3.5 or 4, all the same work, effort, and energy is going to be on this project, and the numbers are much higher. So if I'm gonna do a project, I might as well do one that pushes the limit on the sale price, and I'm going to make a lot more money, because all the problems in construction, all the budget issues, all the timing issues, everything, it's all going to be the same whether I'm doing the $500,000 project or the $5 million project. So I've always put my work, effort, and energy on the bigger projects so that the profits are that much more as well when I finish out. And when you're just getting started, I mean, the same concept applies. So whether you're just starting out and you have no money to invest, and we can talk more about this later, but if you have no money to invest, how to put together an actual real estate deal so that you can attract investors, and then put yourself into that deal, give yourself equity, so that whenever it sells, you make money. It's a great way to kind of give yourself a bunch of capital back when you're getting started. And then you can reinvest. Or if you already have a little bit of money and you're going to invest in a project, to go ahead and start high so that your returns can be bigger anyway. Because like I said, you can't really have these self kind of limiting beliefs. Sometimes I've got to check myself on it, because I'm like, it's too risky to do a $10 million home. Maybe I'll do this $1 million home. I'm going to finish the $1 million home. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to make profits. I'm going to be like, damn, why didn't I do the $10 million home? Same stress, same problems, same issues, just bigger and at a higher level. So my paydays are going to be higher too. So I've got to kind of check myself to limit my own thoughts on what I can do, just because it seems more risky. But my ability to assess risk, and most people's ability to assess true risk, is poor. So you have to really kind of get rid of your self-limiting beliefs first and say, forget this $1 million project. I'm going to knock down the $10 million project. I'm going to take home $2 million instead of $200,000. And it's going to be the same work. It's going to win just like it would have won if it was the $1 million project. Just a little bit more about the property. Again, 2 acres, surrounded by trees, ultimate privacy, put in a pool that is going to be level to the yard. So all this is going to be filled in, obviously, beautiful grass. It's going to be a resort type of pool. Again, olive trees kind of surrounding it, a large outdoor dining table. I mean, it's going to be somewhere that's just a peaceful retreat. You have your private resort owner's retreat here. This is the gym spa area on the other side. Got a creek in the back. And yeah, it's going to be gorgeous guest house. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. I might even put like a little 3-hole chip and putt back here. Elevator. Let's go. So just take the elevator up in case you're lazy. Don't want to take the stairs or can't take the stairs. You always have to have a back entrance up to the top. And all the rooms on the top are strategically put to where you're not on top of the primary retreat, because nobody wants to hear that noise. And you're not on the top of the spa retreat either, because maybe you're chilling in there, getting a massage, zen, you're meditating. Your David Goggins is in here for whatever reason, meditating, whatever you do, quiet. So all the bedrooms are just put right on top right here. Strategically as well. I'm really into arches and fluted wood right now. So we got a lot of fluted wood all through the house, but I think it looks good. And then this is gonna be a garage. I mean, this is obviously gonna be a showroom. You know how I am with my cars. So we got something cool coming up with cars too. We're gonna see some cars that are gonna be in here, but this is gonna be a showroom type garage. If you're gonna look for workbenches and where you hang bicycles and all that, you're not gonna find it in my garage. All right. Another aspect of every project that I do is I'm creating a whole retreat for workout, recovery, relaxation. So this is going to be the gym. Every good gym has a mirror wall for your selfies, for the posing. How you do it? How you do the pose? The turn. What's the turn? Yeah, the turn pose. Got the mirror wall. Again, fluted wood everywhere. You're going to have a TV in here. This is going to be the spa, the massage room. So candles along here, massage table, massage therapist coming in once or twice a week. This is a sauna. This was a lot of work had to be in this. Originally the ceiling was too high. Then we had to do some study on the heating in here actually, and how tall the ceiling needed to be to also keep it hot enough to where you get a high enough temperature to get a sweat. But I've always wanted a window looking outside in my sauna. I just thought it was cool. I hadn't done one like this yet, but I think this is super cool to just be able to kind of sit here and look outside. I don't like the feeling of being all kind of locked in when I'm in the sauna. So first time I've done a window in here. We'll see how that works out. I think it's going to be a fantastic feature though. And then obviously got our doors out here to the pool. And then this part is going to be amazing. Wait until we come back and do this at night, but just even, hey, did you see all these materials? It looks so good. This is the first time we selected these, what, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? And they just put them in. This looks good. All of this is going to have lighting, fire pit. This was handcrafted, obviously, because you want to be able to sit here. You want to be able to enjoy a little meal or a drink right here. I mean, this is already, there's no water. It's dirty. It's a construction site. There's trash everywhere, but I still feel good. I feel like I'm relaxing. So this is a new one too. So a lot of inspiration on different places like Atlantis the Royal in Dubai. That was, I mean, probably the best property. You guys should have me back out if y'all watching this. I'll go anytime you want. But we're working on trying to figure out how to, and I haven't seen anyone do this just yet. So if anyone knows anyone who has, let me know so I can reach out and see how they did it, because the bids are coming in like crazy high. They're like more than the pool. But we're trying to get lighting that actually runs. So this is all going to be an overflow edge around the entire pool. So it's not like it's not waterfall. It's just going to be like the water is going to be at the level and just gently falling over onto this. And then we're trying to do LED lighting that's going to be actually tucked into the trench all the way around, so that the light will actually shine up. Obviously can change colors and things like that, but to put it in the water has been a little bit of a challenge, but we're still working on it. We're gonna figure out a way to do it, but it's gonna look spectacular with the lighting out here. I mean, if you come set in here, it's nice. Even with nothing. I think they should have made that bigger though. See, it's details. As I walk all of this stuff and I'm talking to you, I'm literally thinking in my head all of the things that I'm going to go back to the builder and force them to correct, because it's not perfect. It's got to be dialed in. A house that's $10 million has no flaws. It's perfect. It's a 10 of a 10. So there's no room for error in any of this. So you have to be super close to the details. We just walked in the bathroom. We're going to rip out most of the bathroom probably, and because it's got to be right. It's got to be right. And the investment that you put into that, in a house like this, again, this is why I go for bigger projects. If for some reason you have to start over in a bathroom and I put another $25,000 in it, if I get my $10 million for this home, the return on it is well worth it. If I'm doing a $250,000 house, I have no room for errors and I just have to live with whatever I build. So there's no margin for errors in smaller projects as well. There's another thing about real estate and projects that you have to be self-aware about. So we kind of talked about not having self-limiting beliefs, but you also have to be honest with yourself and the things that you're willing to do and put up with. Do not go into real estate or do projects like this if you're not easily adaptable to change, problems, issues going wrong. There's going to be so much of it, and if you don't have the stomach for it or the patience for it, it's not going to be the right thing for you. So, but if you do and you're able to work very quickly and make decisions quickly and adapt and make changes and keep going, it's the right thing for you to do. For me, it's perfect. All I do all day, every day is just deal with bullshit and issues, and I'm very quick to execute decisions and keep going. So while someone else is sitting here fumbling on 10 decisions about this house and making the project slow down days, months, weeks or months, I've already finished the house and sold it. So you have to be honest with yourself and just what you're good at as well. Maybe it's not quite for you, but if it is, you want to build $10 million houses and sell them, this might be for you. A lot of other things too, and I'll see a lot of properties, and I just don't think there's a lot of common sense. If you're going to build a house that has 12, 14 foot ceilings, don't be putting little doors and little hallways in it. Like, I mean, we're walking around at these doors and windows and everything. Like, this is not a normal door. Like, it's a 10-foot door. I've seen so many houses like this. They're like, oh, we'll do the ceilings 12 foot, 14 foot, and that's great. But then you'll have a little 8-foot door here. They don't do small doors or walkways. You got to kind of think common sense and what fits. And it flows nicely too, right? It's always like the flow of it has to be on point. And then just little areas that kind of grab your attention, like this view here. And again, when it's all cleaned up and done, we'll come back out and do it again. But just the way this, what's it called, banister? See, this is what's cool about a lot of this. I'm not a builder. People are like, oh, how long have you been building? I don't know how to fucking build a house. I honestly don't. I know other people that do, and I employ them to do it. I have ideas. I know what looks good. I know what feels good. So I take the things that I can add value to, and then let the rest of the stuff be for experts. I know people that try to GC their own projects and they suck at GCing. Why would you do that? Try to do the architecture and design and they suck at it? Like, get the right people in the right positions to do what they do best, and then you add the value where you can. But look at this, like the doorway. Like, I would buy this house just based on this entry alone. Like, this is crazy. And wait until you see the lighting that's gonna be put in here. But just, envision just being up here again in the morning, the sun shines through, like God himself is talking to you. It's a spiritual experience every morning. You're up here, you're looking down at the staircase and the banister, how it all flows. There's gonna be a natural tree there. I mean, it's not just a house, like this is a whole like experience. And I like to feel like we're building an experience, not just a home. That's the difference. This whole area is gonna be just devoted to maybe a pool table, foosball, I'm not sure, figure it out, but this is just kind of your game room area where everyone can kind of hang out and chill. We got a little bar space. Again, just the intricacies of, we don't have any power yet. Power coming soon. You can see the details of everything inside is beautiful. This is gonna be a theater in here. It's gonna be 2 different layers of seating with the best theater, indoor home theater experience you can imagine. And something I've always wanted to do, which is the first time I've had the space to do it, is this is gonna be a full golf sim room. So you come in here, you're gonna have all of your analytics set up, your TVs, your screens. This is gonna be where the projector and everything sets, and you're gonna hit into this screen here. So just a full room to literally play any golf course you want all over the country while you're just sitting here in your house. So I don't think there's gonna be much that this house won't have. It's gonna have a full golf sim, game room, theater, massage room, spa, the whole pool experience outside, pickleball, 3-hole putt and chip. What else we got? Handcrafted fireplaces, 10,000 square feet, 30-foot entries. We'll close this off. We'll do a little blackout shade here for whenever we want to have this kind of as a cool vibe in here. Maybe put a little bar area or something in here. But this will be the first golf sim room that I do indoor. Most people throw this like in their garage, I guess. Or it's kind of an afterthought, but we wanted to make sure we thought of it ahead of time. And when it gets finished out, it's going to be one of the best. It's going to be fun. My golf game will not be struggling anymore after that. There's a few things that you think of as well. So this neighborhood is so attractive. It's 2 acres. So when you go into the city and you're doing your plans and permitting, there's so much I could have done here. I mean, I could have built a house twice the size probably. I mean, I could have pushed 20. I mean, there could be a bowling alley. I mean, I could have a 10-car garage. Like you just said, this could be an indoor half-court basketball if we wanted it to be with very little. I mean, this could be like a whole free throw set. I could probably set that up as well, right? I played in college if you saw that form. But you have to look at the neighborhood as well. If I run comps out here, if I'm gonna build, keep in mind, there's a cost per square foot. There's a cost to all of this. And I've got to be in that budget, very strict to my budget. And even though I might build that 25,000 square foot house that's spectacular, that's unreal, I'm never gonna command what I need for it to make the same amount of money or profit in this neighborhood. It's not the neighborhood for it, right? So You also want to build, you know, that whole, what's the whole, the saying about you don't want to be the most expensive house on the street. It's true. You don't want to overbuild ever. So you want to be right in that perfect kind of pocket of better than the most, but still priced in a way so you're not the most expensive, most incredible house on the block. So this one's right in the sweet spot. Again, kind of pushing that eight-digit mark, but it's also the sweet spot of the profit. You have to kind of look at, again, the price per square foot to build, how much you think you're going to make, and then kind of target that final build cost and sell price to maximize your returns, give you as much room for returns so that you can, you know, there's always going to be things that are over budget and over time, but if you build in a nice buffer, you can kind of guarantee your profits on the sale. So a lot of analyzing pricing in the neighborhood as well, but we're priced perfectly. It's going to be it's a very secure neighborhood too. We got patrol going. They got their own police over here as well. Police will show up in 30 seconds. You have to think about that type of stuff in Houston also. People want secure areas. So this place has it all. I've got 6 projects right now in Houston that I'm currently doing. This is one of them. Keep in mind, this is still, real estate is still considered the side hustle. This isn't even the main business, but we stay very busy. But Houston, Texas, we're right in the heart of it. This is gonna be 10,000 square foot home. Unbelievably gorgeous whenever it's done. It's already gorgeous and it's still in the middle of construction. We're gonna be back in about 60 days whenever it's done. We're gonna take a look at it when it's final and completed. So yeah, Houston, Texas. Just get a load of this entry one more time before you go away though. It's all about that entry. First impressions. I'm gonna start naming my houses. This is gonna be called First Impressions.